We're continuing our series and talking about customer interview starter questions you can use in testing your hypotheses from your business model canvas. Of course, these are just starter questions. You'll have to develop your own questions that are specific to your hypotheses, but hopefully these ideas will give you at least a place to start. Hi, I'm Steve Morris, and I use this Startup SOS channel to provide practical how-to advice for first-time entrepreneurs. When we talk about customer relationship and channel hypotheses, we're really talking about a number of different topics. First of all, creating awareness, which would be marketing strategies to create customer awareness. But then also obtaining customers, that's where we get into the sales channel questions, but also the sales relationship. What kind of a relationship with a vendor do customers expect in buying this kind of a product? Beyond that, of course, the question is, how do you retain, sell up, and get referrals from customers? So those are all wrapped into the whole post-sale customer relationship question. You'll have your hypotheses on your canvas in all of these areas. The goal is to test those hypotheses in your customer interview, which of course is part of your customer discovery process. We're assuming that you've already tested your hypotheses around value proposition, the job to be done, the pain to be avoided, the gain to be obtained. So you've already clarified what you mean by the job and specifically by the product they're using now to get the job done. So let's start with customer awareness. How might you test your hypotheses in how you'll create customer awareness? Well, you might start by simply asking, how do they learn about products in this particular kind of job? Are there important trade shows they go to, or technical conferences? Do they read particular blogs or magazines, or are there trade associations that are an important source of information for them? Perhaps there are particular thought leaders that they follow, or maybe they just base their search on recommendations from friends and peers in the industry. How do they find out about these things today? And then you might follow up by asking, well, how would you prefer finding out? Are there other ways of getting information that you just don't have access to right now that you'd like to see available to help you find out about solutions in this area? And to get a little more concrete, you might ask, well, how did you find out about the solution that you're using today to get the job done? Moving beyond awareness to actual strategies for obtaining customers and testing those hypotheses, it wouldn't be a bad idea to start with just finding out, where did you go to purchase the solution you use today to get this job done? And what did you like and not like about how that purchase process went? So you're really trying to understand what the customer relationship was like through that sales process. And again, what was good about it, what could have been better. Some other question ideas, just again to probe a little bit more, you might ask, are you loyal to your existing channel, to the channel that you use to purchase your current solution? And you'd really like to buy from them again. If so, why? What is it that makes that channel so attractive? And then another follow-up might be, would you really prefer to buy this type of solution in some different way? Maybe you're buying it through a direct sales force now, and you'd actually rather just buy it online through an e-commerce process. Asking how they'd prefer to buy can sometimes give you some additional insights. And finally, to get even more concrete, you might share your plan or your vision for how you expect to approach sales. What kind of a channel, how you expect it to work, what kind of during the sales support you expect to provide, and get their feedback. What do they think about that approach? What do they like? What concerns might they have? Get some concrete feedback on how they think about the approach that you're thinking about taking. And of course, you'll have learned a lot already in those more open-ended questions that you've asked. And by the time you're done, you'll probably have a pretty good idea of really how the customers really want to buy this kind of a product. Now, moving on into the question of overall customer relationship after the sale, one of the questions you can ask is about post-sale support. What kind of post-sale support does their current vendor provide, and what do they like about that? What works well? What do they wish would work differently or work better than it is today? And you might even ask, say on a scale of 1 to 5, how satisfied are they with the post-sales support that they're receiving today? Now, that's not exactly an open-ended question, but it gives you a feel, obviously, of how satisfied they are, and an opportunity to follow up with, if it's a low score, well, so why so low? What really drives you to only rate them, say, a 2? Or if it's particularly high, great. What do they particularly like? Why is the rating that high? And see what additional feedback you can get. That will tell you about what the expectations are the customer has for support from a vendor in this particular industry. And of course, another approach is to ask them for their ideas. How do they think post-sales support should work in this kind of a business? People generally like sharing their ideas, and again, you'll get a different kind of insight. And then finally, after having asked all of these various more open-ended questions, you might share your plans for both how the sales process will work, but also the post-sales support process. And then again, get their feedback. What do they think about that approach? What do they like? What concerns would they have? And you'll learn even more about how they're thinking about the whole customer relationship question. Another area to ask about is peer-to-peer help. Is peer assistance in this kind of industry or market very helpful and important? That could be in the form of online forums where they exchange ideas and how-to information with other customers, or even a user group where they physically get together in user group meetings, almost in a mini technical conference sort of way. If that is an important area that they get support from currently with their current solution, then that's great. Ask questions about why, what works well with that, what doesn't work well. How would they like to see the company support customers in helping customers help each other? That too can be an important part of the customer relationship strategy. One of the things, of course, that you'd like to accomplish with customers is to get positive referrals from them to help you get other customers. So you might ask, do they recommend their current vendor? If so, why? Or if they really wouldn't feel good about recommending their current vendor to a peer in the industry, why not? Understanding how they think about their current vendor might give you some hints as to the kind of post and pre-sale support the customer expects that might lead to a higher likelihood of getting a positive referral to additional customers. So there are some ideas you can use in testing your hypotheses around customer relationship and channels. Now remember, you'll be coming up with questions that are more specific to your particular hypotheses, but hopefully those examples at least give you some ideas on how to proceed. If this was helpful, please click the like and share it with other entrepreneurs. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a comment. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do that and hit that notification bell because there's more to come in this series. And if you'd like to get our list of starter questions, so you have it all in a document for not just this topic, but all the different topics we'll cover in the customer interview, there's a link where you can get on the list in the notes to receive that list of questions when it's done. We're working on that right now. And of course, you'll be able to track the entire sequence of videos in this series on the customer interview and more generally on testing your business model canvas in the link to the playlist that's right below me. That's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching.